Are you going through a difficult time? A personal crisis makes you feel stuck and tired. You are not the only one. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wait until the storm passes to dance. Learn to dance in the rain." It is in times of pain we can learn how to turn pain into strength. Actually, difficulty is not the end, but is an opportunity for you to develop yourself from 7 failures. And this is the Jim Rohn mindset, helping millions of people around the world find light in the darkness. If you think that only when everything goes smoothly you can succeed, then you are missing an important secret. Life doesn't ask if you are ready. It just gives a challenge. As you learn to overcome personal crises, not just to survive, but also to develop inner strength, you are really step on the road to sustainable success. You will realize that Jim Rohn's secret to overcoming difficulties is not waiting for circumstances to change, but change yourself first. Get started today. Even the smallest action to build perseverance step by step. Learn to cope with challenges and never give up. Because as Jim Rohn once said, success is not something you pursue, but what you become. That is the spirit, to let you turn pain into strength and develop yourself even in the most difficult times. Crisis is not something that AI wants to go through either, but it is in those difficult times we really have the opportunity to develop inner strength and change lives. Jim Rohn once said, "Difficulty is not a test of circumstances, but is a challenge for the skills and thinking within you." When faced with personal crisis, many people are easily caught up in a feeling of disorientation, depressed and want to give up. But if you know how to recognize the crisis as an opportunity to grow, you will find that it is the pain. The 7 failures are the source of hidden potential power that you have never discovered. This is the spirit that Jim Rohn conveys. Not just a way to survive hardship, but also a way to turn pain into real strength. Do you know, in every crisis, we are always faced with 2 important choices. One is to be a victim of circumstances, wallow in self-pity and disbelief. 2 is to become a student, see difficulties as valuable lessons, to develop yourself from 7 failures. Jim Rohn's thinking was very clear on this. You can't control every situation that happens to you, but you can control how you react to them. That choice will decide. You can use the crisis to build your inner strength, or will forever be in the shadow of 7 defeats. Hardship and suffering are not the enemy, but fire tests gold to refine the soul and create your true self. When you go through a personal crisis, you don't just face external difficulties, but also have to face yourself with doubt, fear and limitations you never realized. However, if you know how to apply positive thinking correctly when times are tough, learn to persevere, success despite unfavorable circumstances, you will turn those challenges into valuable lessons. Help you develop yourself from 7 failures. Jim Rohn's secret to overcoming difficulties is not to let yourself freeze in difficulty, but always maintain the smallest action. It could be something you spend time on every day, to read books to learn, take notes of lessons from his own pain and defeat. When you do this, you are gradually building your inner strength and skills to face greater challenges in the future. This is a method of building internal strength that not everyone realizes. That inner strength does not come from luck or natural talent, but from the process of persistent practice and learning. Learn and constantly change your thinking. When you are in crisis, you may feel like you are standing in front of a big wall. Insurmountable. But remember that at that moment, you can choose. Change the way you look at yourself and your circumstances. Jim Rohn once said, "Instead of praying for an easy life, pray that you have the skills to overcome the challenge." Reality doesn't wait for you to be ready. It will never stop giving unexpected challenges for you to grow. If you know how to face and learn from 7 failures, you will become stronger. No more fear of personal crisis. In the process of self-development from 7 failures, you will realize that crisis is a golden opportunity to reinvent yourself in a better way. Not everyone realizes this, and that is why so many people fail when facing the storms of life. But you can be different when applying the right Jim Rohn mindset. Thinking starts from self-change to success, rather than waiting for circumstances to change. This will help you avoid feeling stuck in personal crisis and forward with unceasing perseverance. Learn to overcome pain in life. Not just about healing wounds, but also a way for you to grow important life skills like patience, self-control and courage. This is how you build your foundation solid for your journey to not just survive, but also grow stronger through each difficulty. You will realize that success does not come from avoiding crisis, which comes from the ability to transform pain, become strength and motivation to move forward. Finally, I want you to remember that difficulties do not defeat you, but an opportunity for you to become a stronger person. When you know how to apply thinking, Jim Rohn, to turn personal crises become an opportunity to develop internal strength, you will no longer be afraid of challenges, but will know how to face the challenge with a spirit of resilience and perseverance. This is the path to help you develop yourself from 7 failures and build the life you want. Get started today. Don't expect a miracle from outside. Choose to change yourself to succeed. That is inner strength. That inner I can build if determined and persistently act every day, every hour, and you will see that crisis is not the enemy, but is the best teacher in your life. In life, no one is immune to difficulties and challenges, personal crises that we cannot foresee. However, what makes the difference between successful people and the 7th person lost? It's how we face it with those painful moments. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wait until the storm is over to dance. Learn to dance in the rain." This saying is not just a simple piece of advice, but also a compass for positive thinking in difficult times. Help us turn pain into strength and overcome all adversity. Positive thinking in difficult times. It's not about hiding the pain or pretend everything is fine, but how we choose to see it and respond to challenges. When you learn to dance in the rain, that means you know how to accept the situation, keep up the spirit, and find the light in your own darkness. This is Jim Rohn's secret to overcoming difficulties. Never give up even in the most difficult circumstances that take advantage of the pain to develop yourself from 7 failures. Life is not always smooth. And if you just wait for the storm to pass to start taking action, you will always be stuck in your comfort zone. Cannot develop. But if you know how to apply the Jim Rohn mindset, you will realize every difficulty is an opportunity to practice perseverance and endurance. When facing personal crisis instead of collapse, ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge? How to turn pain into power? That's how you build your foundation. Strong inner strength to not only overcome difficulties, but also become stronger. Small action, but daily consistency is the key. Help you maintain positive thinking during difficult times. You can start by writing down thoughts, emotions, and lessons from painful experiences. By doing so, you not only understand yourself better, but also create inner strength to move forward on the path of personal development. From 7 defeats, Jim Rohn also emphasized, success is not something you pursue, but what you become. That's why you have to change yourself to be successful. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change, maintaining positive thinking during difficult times also helps you develop self-control and courage. Essential qualities to face any challenge in life. When personal crisis strikes, you may feel disoriented, bewildered, or even desperate. But remember that, at that moment, it's time for you to show your true power. You can choose to be a victim of circumstances, or be the master of your life. By learning to dance in the rain, accept and use challenges to grow. Positive thinking in difficult times is not easy, especially when we are going through our darkest days. But don't forget, every time you overcome a challenge, you are gradually building your inner strength and stronger spirit for the next challenges. Jim Rohn once shared, if you don't change anything, you will continue to get what you are getting. So, learn to face challenges with a positive attitude. Is the beginning to change and develop yourself. Imagine that every difficulty you encounter, like the rain, you can't control it, but you can choose to dance in that rain, instead of standing on the sidelines. When you practice this mindset regularly, you will develop perseverance to succeed. Don't let difficulties get you down, but on the contrary, turn it into motivation when facing difficulties. People who know how to maintain positive thinking in personal crisis will be able to recover faster, learn more, and grow deeper. Finally, I want you to remember that journey of personal development, never a bed of roses. It is a journey that requires patience, brave and determined. But when you learn to turn pain into strength, apply positive thinking when times are tough, you will not only survive but thrive. You will become a person who is not afraid of challenges. Don't avoid difficulties, but know how to use them as a springboard for success. And that is the path that Jim Rohn took. A path of perseverance. Change yourself to succeed, and build internal strength to constantly develop. Get started today. Don't wait for the storm to pass to dance, because it's in the rain we find true power. And start a new life, meaningful and full of hope. The key to overcoming any personal crisis and achieve sustainable success is investing in yourself and change your mindset. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the year The person you spend the most time with. This emphasizes the importance of environmental selection and how you nourish yourself every day. Investing in yourself is not just about acquiring knowledge, but also practicing positive thinking when times are tough. Building skills and discipline to develop yourself from 7 failures. Many people in trouble often bogged down in pessimism, even give up, because they feel incapable of changing. However, Jim Rohn's secret to overcoming difficulties is never stop learning and internal development. Force. He has gone through many personal crises, but don't let those 7 defeats defeat you. Instead, he chose to change himself to succeed. Start by investing in yourself by reading books. Take courses and practice thinking every day. Imagine, when you invest in yourself, every day you will build a solid foundation. Help you not only overcome the challenges ahead, but also prepare for greater opportunities in the future. That is the way for you to build sustainable inner strength and make a difference, compared to those who only know how to complain about their fate. As Jim Rohn said, if you don't change anything, you will continue to get what you are getting. So, changing your mindset is the most important step on the path of self-development from 7 failures. In the process of learning to cope with challenges, you will realize that success is not a destination, but is a process of continuous self-improvement. You need to maintain positive thinking when times are tough. Know how to persevere even when things don't go as planned, and always proactively seek opportunities to develop skills. This helps you build a strong inner strength, unshaken by the storms of life. There is one more important thing. You need to learn how to keep your mind clear and optimistic. That's why small actions every day so important. Maintaining habits. Take notes of lessons learned from hardship. Read self-development books, or simply take some time to reflect. Help you connect more deeply with yourself. This is the secret. Help you turn pain into strength, thereby developing oneself comprehensively. Jim Rohn once shared, "You are responsible for your life. If you don't do it, someone else will." This means you cannot depend on circumstances or other people to change your life. You must actively master your thinking and your own actions. Change yourself for success is how you hold the greatest power. Inner power. When you have built positive thinking and invest in yourself seriously, you will feel the difference clearly in the way you perceive challenges. Instead of fear or avoidance, you will know how to turn difficulties into motivation for life. When in trouble, you don't just develop yourself from 7 failures, but also create the foundation to climb the next steps of success. More than that, when you have the right mindset and strong inner strength, you won't be affected too much by external fluctuations. Personal crisis will become an opportunity for you to reinvent yourself, not a barrier. You will understand that success does not come from avoiding difficulties, but comes from knowing how to dance in the rain. Know how to accept and take advantage of every challenge to develop. Remember that every big change starts with a small step. But persevere. One day you read one chapter of a book, or record lessons from difficulties. One day you spend time reflecting and wondering, what can I do to change my mindset and develop yourself right now. Those actions combined will create inner strength, help you overcome any personal crisis. And finally, I want you to always remember Jim Rohn's advice. Success is not something you pursue, but what you become. When you invest in yourself and change your mindset, you will become a capable person, turn pain into strength, know how to change yourself to succeed, and build a more meaningful life every day. Get started today. Don't wait for circumstances to change, but actively invest in yourself to constantly develop. Because only when you are strong from within, you can face any challenge and achieve success, sustainable in life. Edwin Barnes is the most vivid proof for the power of perseverance and unwavering faith, core values in road gym thinking that we are learning. When people are still skeptical, Barnes decided to overcome his personal crisis. Don't let 7 defeats discourage you, but turn it into motivation when facing difficulties. Jim Rohn once said, "If you really want something, you will find a way. Otherwise, you will find excuses." And Barnes is the embodiment of that saying. When he went from having no money, no relationship, with only faith and determination, become a companion, Thomas Edison's associate, one of the greatest inventors in history. The story of Edwin Barnes. It started with him boarding a freight train. Nothing in hand, only carry a strong desire, is to become a working partner with Edison. Instead of waiting for favorable circumstances, find a reason to give up, Barnes chose to change himself to succeed. By taking consistent action every day, learn to cope with challenges, and build sustainable internal strength from the smallest failures. He does not mind doing the little things, not flashy, but with strong faith and perseverance success. Barnes finally achieved his goal. This story clearly demonstrates for one of the most valuable lessons Jim Rohn shared on how to develop yourself from 7 failures. You cannot change anything if you don't change yourself first. On Barnes' journey, there is no magic but perseverance, and determined not to give up. He did not simply overcome a personal crisis, but also turn it into a springboard to build a career and life in my own way. This is also a profound reminder for all of us that in life no success comes easy, and every crisis is an opportunity to develop efforts. When you know how to turn pain into strength, like Edwin Barnes, you will find the way to not only survive hardship, but also develop rapidly. That's how you learn to persevere successfully and build positive thinking when times are tough. Another important thing is the story of Edwin Barnes shows that success does not always come from talent or favorable conditions, but comes from careful preparation and ready to act non-stop. Jim Rohn once emphasized, "It is not your circumstances that define you, but how you deal with the situation." Barnes chose to invest in himself, persistence in pursuing goals, even in the hardest of days. And that is why he succeeded. When you face a personal crisis, remember the story of Edwin Barnes, like a bright mirror. Don't let the 7 failures discourage you. Don't wait for perfect conditions to take action. Every small step forward, every effort you make is an investment in yourself, building inner strength and developing thinking. When you do it, you will never have to fear difficulties, because you have armed yourself. Strongest spirit. In short, Edwin Barnes is living proof for the power of perseverance and the importance of thinking. Jim Rohn. Over his story, we learn to dance in the rain. Never give up even in the most difficult circumstances, and know that success is not what you pursue, but what you become. Take inspiration from Barnes to turn a personal crisis into a reality. Become an opportunity to develop yourself from 7 failures and step by step towards sustainable success. Are you ready to write your story? Own success by learning from difficulties and constantly develop positive thinking when times are tough. Remember that every day you choose to take consistent action, you are getting closer to your dreams and goals. And that is real power of self-change to success that Jim Rohn taught. Journey through personal crisis. It is never easy, but it is in those difficulties you have the opportunity to develop yourself from 7 failures and turn pain into real power. Jim Rohn once said, "Success is not something you pursue, but what you become." So the key to changing your life: don't wait for good circumstances, but it is investing in yourself. Change your mindset and learn to persevere to succeed, even in challenge. Remember that a crisis is an opportunity to build inner strength and develop positive thinking in difficult times. Help you not only survive, but also grow stronger every day. Like the Edwin Barnes story, the one who overcame all with perseverance and strong faith. You can also turn the challenge into become a springboard for sustainable success. If you find this video helpful and inspiring to help you learn to cope with challenges, please like and share for others that also need this motivation. Don't forget to subscribe to the Success Journey channel so as not to miss the profound lessons help you develop yourself from 7 failures and build strong inner strength every day. Get started today. Don't wait for the news to pass before you dance, because it is in the rain that you find true strength and become who you want to be.